It's time to take a TO with coaches Turner and O'Neill. Produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy.
It's time to take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Your new favorite podcast features conversation from the world of high school, college, and pro sports, along with other riveting content. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast and on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, or visit www.turnerando'neill.com. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, and more than 15 podcast platforms. We also invite you into the studio each week via YouTube. Subscribe and watch each episode on our YouTube channel at Turner O'Neill Podcast. Thanks to our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage, our partners, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, Insurance Alliance Group, LLC, and Marquise Evans with Keller Williams Capital Properties. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media and Gene the Barber with Max Life Barber and Salon. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by me, DJ Krissy. Now we welcome you to today's episode as we take a TO with coaches Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. Here's your host, Kurtis Cross.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 17 of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. From the studio, I am Kurtis Cross, your host, and at home we have Coach Casey O'Neill and Coach Steve Turner. We thank you for listening and watching. Welcome to TNO, the home edition. Our premier partner for Season 3 is Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Ray is a friend of the program and the only mortgage lender we endorse right here at Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Ray Cruz is mortgage intelligently. We'd like to thank our partners, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and Marquise Evans with Keller Williams Capital Properties. If you would like to become a partner, sponsor, donor, or friend of the program, simply look in the show notes of all Season 3 episodes. Before we get into today's episode, gentlemen, how was your week? Coach Turner, you are up first, sir.
Good week. Just busy at school, busy with the kids, and not necessarily my own blood kids, but my kids that down on I Street.
Yeah.
A lot of practicing, a lot of trying to get ready. It's first week, last week of hoops. Had one scrimmage over the weekend. Got another one coming up. Got two coming up this week. And exciting times. Exciting to get close to a reality that we've been looking forward to, is getting back to the hoops and playing some high school ball and traveling and playing the WCAC schedule. So it's a reality. So far it's been a reality, and sounds like we got some good news coming up from the mayor as it pertains to mask and different things, which will also, we think, only help enhance the experience and the opportunity for the boys this year. And just been chilling, spending some time at home when I can, checking out I got 15 guys right now currently playing college hoops somewhere across the country. Had a chance to go watch one of them play live the other night. Terrence Williams was here in town playing in a new event called the Coaches versus Racism. And that event is pitting the Big Ten versus HBCUs. And so the first one played was Michigan versus Prairie View, and they played it here in D.C. at the Go-Go's arena over at the Entertainment Sports Complex. So it was pretty cool. And seems like every night I turn it on, I got 2 or 3 more playing. So this is my time of the year. I'm excited.
And we're going to hear more about what's going on in I Street just a little bit later. Coach O'Neill, what about you, fella? Talk to me about your week.
I had a great week. Awesome week. Look, working with some of the kids I've been working with, got to see them have some great fall tournaments and sort of see the fruits of their labors pay off and really start to shine with some of the stuff we've done with the kids that come and see us and train with us. Really excited about the way my girls are going to school right now and getting first quarter was in. And my oldest daughter got straight A's. We are very proud of her.
Of course. That's an O'Neill girl. We expect that.
Well, hey, look, if you rewound about, 35 years. You wouldn't see straight A's in my book.
Well,
So,
the next generation outpaces the last generation, right?
This is new territory. Look, they get those brains from mama for sure. But super proud of her.
Wait a minute, brains, looks, athleticism, they get a lot from mama. I don't know what they get from you.
I'm just here to do a podcast, Kurtis. That's all I do, man. I'm just here to try to make this thing work. But so super proud of the girls. And look, this is a big week because when this episode airs on Thursday, a certain young Cole O'Neill is going to be 21 on.
Don't say it. Don't say it. The big 2-1.
The big 2-1. So we happy birthday, Cole. You'll hear this on your birthday, and I love you. We miss you. Can't wait to see you for Thanksgiving, buddy.
Let's try this again. Happy birthday,
Cole.
Cole.
I'm going to pull up for the first one.
The first.
We got to give him some applause, man. That's Cole turning 21, baby. We got to do that. All right. Well, look, I'm happy to hear about that. I'm sure next week he'll be home to do some Thanksgiving stuff, right?
Absolutely. Can't wait. Thanksgiving, folks, is my favorite holiday because there's not about, going out there and rushing to get gifts. Look, we know Coach Turner loves Christmas. He loves being the gift giver. But I love Thanksgiving because of the food, the camaraderie. But it's just about being thankful. That's it. Let's just get together. Let's break some bread and watch some football and just veg out, man. That's it. So he'll be back next week.
All right, good. We'll talk about him next week. My week was great. The highlights included the Skins and the Bills won some games this weekend. I'm still on top of both of my fantasy basketball leagues. That's undefeated across 2 leagues. And I got to see our alma mater coach. I got to see those Blair Blazers win their second round playoff game, beating Laurel High School on the gridiron 56-35. And Casey, you need to know this was the first playoff game at home for a Blair Blazers team in the history of the school.
Spectacular.
Yes, it was a packed house. I saw Steve. I
heard you.
Sean Clifton. I saw Vic. I saw Mike Holland. I saw
Timmy Haynes.
A bunch of kids that used to play for me.
I saw a bunch of pictures of the crew, and I talked to Sean. The only thing I'm sad about is, man, now this whole county thing, they reshuffled the deck, and we got the bad. We got the wrong end of the straw.
Who did we get? QO?
Nah, forget them. Wise.
Oh, damn. Well, we know. Well, here comes the end of that reign of terror.
Wise at Wise. But I will say this, man. Watching the film, we got a quarterback, man. He can sling that thing. And that is the area where, from everything I've heard, Wise, that if you got a place to attack them, it's attack their corners.
So here's the thing. I've got 2 interesting stories about that game. Number one, Blair's quarterback is truly an athlete. He's nice. He does what he's supposed to do. He is coached by a guy, the quarterback's coach at Blair. His name is Joe Urso. I coached Joe Urso at Tacoma Park Boys and Girls Club. Here's the second one. DJ Los, one of my DJs, he has a brother named Ricky and Frankie Vilars. I coached both of those guys. Ricky Vilars' son, Ricardo Vilars Jr., is on that team, and he is coached by Joe Urso, a guy that I coached. So there's so many connections there. And Mr. Vilars is the one who installed the HVAC here in the studio. So when we're warm and we're chilly, that's because of Mr. Vilars. But
there you go.
It was great to see. I'll tell you what we did do. We dropped like $30 at the concession stand. They got Chick-fil-A. They got hot dogs. They got pizza. They ain't doing the I Street thing. They're not doing the Clarinda thing.
You've never told me you dropped 30, so I know I'm gonna tell Clarinda to come get you this time.
You know what? I always walk into this, don't I?
Hey, I'm gonna let her know it's on tape too.
Oh Lord, can we rewind? Can we just edit that part out? But I know me and Casey, we got a date to come down to I Street. You promised me. You promised me, so we're going to do that. And Steve, do not talk to me about when I get on the mic on February 13th for that St. John's Gonzaga game. I'm there to do a job. Got it, Steve?
Hey. If you start doing some Jeff Beckett stuff.
We talked about this the other week.
I will not be doing that.
I'm hearing this Christian Watson and Malik Mack and all the guys they got down there and all the special things they're doing, man. I'm gonna get you side-eyed. I'm gonna be side-eyed looking at you.
You gonna give me a look, Steve? You gonna give me a look, ain't you? Look, we are set. The formalities are out of the way. We'll be back with this week's headline. Kurt Cross here, producer of Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. For more than 20 years, I have seen Gene the Barber for my haircuts. I am proud to say that Gene the Barber is now the owner of a new shop, his own shop, Max Life Barber and Salon. Max Life is family friendly with barbers and stylists for men, women, and children. Located at 6859 New Hampshire Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland, Max Life Barber and Salon is now the new home of Gene the Barber. Of course, you'll get Gene's signature service, but now Gene has several barbers to choose from. Schedule an appointment today by calling 240-687-7253 and tell Gene that the Take It to Yo team sent you.
Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill can be found on more than 15 podcast platforms. Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word. Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill records weekly with episode drops each Thursday at 11 a.m.
One Headline is brought to you by
Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual homebuyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, Maryland, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Welcome back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Today's episode is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. This week's headline: we are 1 year removed from the pandemic, really hitting our high school teams hard. What do we look like 1 year later? The effects, has it changed the landscape of high school sports? Other teams being able to come in. We talked to, oh my goodness, I can't say his name. Last week, Steve, I'm blanking.
Mr. Dorado, Tony Dorado.
Tony Dorado, and he talked about how he feels like there may be some programs that are building in the wake of this, that are building basketball schools, not necessarily educational institutions. And how do we think this will affect things? Casey, what do you got over there? You're doing some things at Mabry, but how do we believe this pandemic has forever changed how we look at high school sports, how the athlete is built, how the student athlete is built, and all of that good stuff?
Sure. Look, Steve's talked about it a bunch. I mean, and I'm going to go a step further into, after high school and that transfer portal and the things that are going on there with just sort of the shape of how everybody's just kind of chasing different areas, and then sort of the setback of student athletes getting a year or two more of eligibility in college, which then trickles down and affects the high school players and the high school sports. And that's just college recruiting. And I look at it like in the 4 years, I think the seniors that are currently class of 2022 are the only ones that remember what a full year looked like or was athletically, academically, without COVID. Okay. And the juniors have about that 1 year when they were freshmen, that was 3/4 through. So has it affected? Absolutely. I think it still has an effect, but we've mentioned this before. It has an effect on the kids because they look at other areas and they look at social media and they see where other, regions of the country or other sports get to do what they can do. And they want to rush back, right? They want to get to where they need to get to. And then different cities and counties are letting the kids play and don't worry about the masks, and you can have students here and this and that. So yeah, it's still a mess. I think we're going to be stuck in this in some capacity for quite some time. I think it takes the coaches, it takes the administrators, it takes the counselors, it takes the adults to keep these kids focused on today, what they can control, and having them focusing on what matters, which is just being the best version of you and being the best teammate. So absolutely, I think this whole setback from COVID is gonna last a few more years, and it's gonna affect some of the high schools that we typically think are usually a step ahead, and it's going to last a little bit.
Coach Turner.
I think those teams and those schools that are building now these club-like programs, like you said, not building around as an educational institution, but as a sports school, are going to get some upper hand in some ways, because they're going to be the places that allow kids to just go play no matter what. And I, definitely, like, I agree with Casey. This is definitely a trickle down effect that's going to affect us for a few years, especially with transfer portal opportunities for kids to come back and get the extra years. I mean, we're already seeing major effects of that now. I mean, I'm living it with my own team. I got a couple of guys who I know are bona fide D1 basketball players who are not getting recruited the way that they should, or would have in a typical normal year. But I do say, moving forward, as you watch college sports, as you watch pro sports, we are moving in a direction of getting back to a normalcy with fans and butts in the seats and opportunities to play. And even with high school football season in the WCAC is heading to a championship. We talked about Blair earlier, and Montgomery County Public Schools and PG County Public Schools are heading to state tournaments. So I think the powers to be are doing everything in their power to make sure that these kids have opportunity, which is huge. But I know that there's even more that has to be done. I mean, even for us, we're scrimmaging tomorrow, and we're having last conversations about protocol and how to make sure you come in, and who to let in and who not to let in, and are the kids playing with the mask on? Are they playing with the mask off? There's still so many things that we're gonna have to keep talking about and getting to normalcy. Like I said, the mayor's supposed to be making some news about mask indoors in DC, which could affect how we play our games. So there's so much more to still come, but I do feel like we are moving forward. But there's going to be some struggles through it, and we got to just kind of keep working through it one day at a time.
This is one headline, but I got two things to say. You talked about pro sports. The NHL has postponed the Ottawa Senators' next 3 games because they had a COVID-19 outbreak. And this is something I wanted to mention, and I couldn't get it in the headline, but I got to talk about it now. There are basketball and football leagues for youth right now that are unable to play full seasons. They don't have enough officials or referees. Yep. Do you gentlemen know? Well, it sounds like you've heard about this, Coach Turner. Coach O'Neill, do you know why?
No.
Coach Turner, can you tell them why, or do you know why?
I don't know exactly why, but I mean, just talking to our officials for our own board, they've said the numbers in certain areas have gone down.
My guess would be that people don't know how to act when it comes to them, and officials are like, you can't pay me enough for the way these people are behaving at games now.
Parent behavior. That's it right there. It's parent behavior. All right, do you mean to tell me that we have parents that are so charged up about these games, these 8-year-old midget games, these 9-year-old intermediate games, these 10-year-old junior games, they are so charged up and want this so much for their kid, more than their own kid might even want it, that they are scaring off the officials. We don't have officials for football and basketball games because the parent behavior in the stands. That could be a whole nother episode. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. I mean, look, total honesty here. One of the reasons of, sitting in this chair in the position I'm in now, I'm not going to lie that a small percentage had to do with the way parents not only treated each other, other families through recruiting, the way they treated officials in the games, and then watching some of these, whether it's, club tournaments for the little midgets all the way up through high school. It is very toxic. And while people don't think that they're doing anything wrong, they're just out there and this is the norm. This is an opportunity for a complete other show, but it's a huge reason why I'm sitting in the position I'm in. Cause I can't stand to see people make youth sports into something that it should not be, and to use it to act in a certain way. And it's just wrong. So, damn.
Coach Turner, you offered a quote one time, not a quote like at the end of our show, but you gave me a headline or a quote or something one time in one of our episodes. And I've gone back to that with a lot of folks, and I've told them about this quote. Steve will go out and he'll look at talent and he'll evaluate talent, and he knows in his mind he's evaluating the parents too. Because if you don't want that toxicity, if you don't want those parents in the program, that could hurt the kid's opportunity. Parents, here's what I'm going to tell you. You need to get it together. This is not about you. It's about providing a positive environment where the kids can compete. They can learn how to be student athletes. And that goes across the board. We want these kids to be student athletes. We want them to be in the arts. We want them to find something that they love doing. But parents, you can't make it about you. It's got to be that kid's journey to walk. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your one headline. O'Neill Development is a custom builder in Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and the Eastern Shore. Recognized nationally as a premier builder, O'Neill Development has received awards for historic restoration and urban infill work. Committed to best practices in green building, O'Neill Development also provides support in budgeting, architect selection, and design development during the critical stages of planning. O'Neill Development, building, remodeling, and development since 1975. Find us at www.o'neilldev.com or call 301-840-9310.
Connect with us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, on YouTube, just search Turner and O'Neill, then subscribe. And of course, you can visit our website at www.turnerando'neill.com.
Winsight Media delivers connections and intelligence to four of the fastest growing verticals: convenience retailing, grocery businesses, restaurants, and non-commercial food service through broad and cutting-edge platforms. No company is better positioned to meet the food industry's needs than Winsight. Connect with us at www.winsightmedia.com.
The Starting Five is brought to you by...
From Washington, D.C. to Ocean City, Woodbridge to Columbia, Richmond to Virginia Beach, the hottest DJs are right here. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association.
Dynamic DJ Entertainment, the most experienced professional DJ service in the DMV. For 35 years, our DJ talent has been the energy behind more than 14,000 events. If you're planning your wedding, school dance, corporate event, Sweet 16, or any event, our talented team has the right mix of music and MC skills to bring the energy and turn any event into an epic event. In 35 years, our DJs have performed in front of more than 2 million guests in 26 states. Our services include dynamic DJ talent, karaoke, giant games, atmospheric effects, movie nights, and more. Contact us today and let's make your next event an epic event. Dynamic DJ Entertainment. Visit thepartybeginsnow.com or call 301-942-4500 to get the party started.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. The Starting Five. Welcome back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. The Starting Five is brought to you by Dynamic DJ Entertainment. I am your host, Kurtis Cross, and I'm with Coach Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. Our engineer, DJ Krissy, is unable to join us today, and we look forward to her return. We are up to our Starting Five, 5 questions that I'll ask of each coach. They have 30 seconds each to answer these questions. They can defer one question, and if they go over their 30 seconds, bam, I'm hitting you with it. And you know what? I'll hit you with it again, Casey. Don't act up. Don't act up, all right? Mr. iPhone 27. I can do it 3 times. Mr. iPhone 27 over there. All right, gentlemen, are you ready?
Hit the bell again.
All right, now we're ready. We're going to start it off. Casey, I'm going to start with you. You get to keep one cable channel. Which channel are you going to keep?
I'm going to keep... Oh, man. I
got a timer right here on my computer.
Something to make Mrs. O'Neill one of the channels she likes so that everyone's happy watching TV. I guess True TV maybe. I don't know. I mean, I would say ESPN or Comcast. They don't even have It's NBC Sports Washington. I'll go True TV.
All right, Coach Turner, what are you keeping?
cable channel. Nobody watches like to make the wife happy. I wouldn't be able to keep a cable channel.
I can't.
All right.
No, oh, Bravo. I take it back. Bravo's the one we like.
All right. You got to keep one of those, a network television show or network station.
I'm going to go with NBC.
All right. Coach, trying to come back to you.
Come on, Coach.
Not for not keeping the whole household
Because
happy.
NBC is regular, just TV. It's not cable.
Yeah, but you still have very good.
You get that with the bunny ears, right, Kurtis?
But you got some of the better TV shows like Law and Order.
You got the Law and Orders. You got the Chicago Fire.
Ion's a good
Chicago Fire,
old school
Chicago
stuff.
shows.
Ion's good.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's a tough one. If I would have went like a little more like network wise, I would have just said, keep Netflix
show.
like Netflix.
Right.
Netflix doesn't, something like that.
Right. Coach Turner, you have a 24-hour assistant. What do you task them with?
A 24-hour assistant?
Yes.
All day, every day?
All day, every day.
Just 24 hours. That's all you get.
No, I mean a 24 hours a day like a permanent assistant.
I hope they could do dual work, which would be two things.
Okay, go for it.
Chauffeur me around.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of driving in D.C.
Okay.
So, like, they can drop me off to work and go do whatever they want to do all day, but just come back and get me home.
Right.
And I would say, and also then be a personal chef.
All right. Coach O'Neill.
I like that. I would, number one, we got this magnolia tree in the front yard and the backyard. They'd be raking those leaves all day long. That magnolia. It is June. It is July. It's January. Damn thing's got leaves and big ass just crap that comes off it. We raking leaves with me. Steve, I love that idea. The chauffeur would be baller.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Coach O'Neill, coming back to you, an album you can listen to from start to finish.
Ooh. I guess I go with album start to finish. I guess a country music. I've said Eric Church a bunch of times. Done. Right there.
Okay. Coach Turner.
I got a lot of those, man. That's
you and me both.
How
many can you give me in 30 seconds?
I got a lot of those. Okay. Miseducation to Lauryn Hill.
Right.
Of course, the first Biggie.
Okay.
Shit. All Tribe.
Right.
Best of the Eagles.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Sade Deluxe.
Right.
Who else am I going with on this one? Any Jay-Z. Pretty much any Jay-Z.
And there's your time. My man, I could go Low End Theory, Midnight Marauders. I can go Wyclef the Carnival. I can go Thriller. I can also go Off the Wall, Michael Jackson. And then there's one, an album, the only album that they put together, the Buena Vista Social Club. It's Latin jazz. I love it. All right, gentlemen, here you go.
We'll
go back.
I got one more. Can I add one more?
Go, please.
Kenny G.
Silhouette. All right, the Silhouette album. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, we're going to go back to an old tried and true faithful one. My 3 truths and 1 lie. All right, guess the lie. I once lived in Landover, Maryland. I once lived a few doors down from a striptease establishment. I once lived a few doors down from a cemetery. And I once lived in Arlington, Virginia. Which one is the lie? Coach O'Neill.
You were never in Landover.
Okay, Coach Turner.
I'm going with you never been in Virginia because I think all the other things could happen in Landover.
But I think he was in Arlington because he did a lot of work in the nightclubs in D.C.
You're probably right, but I'm just going with that just because I feel like when you name the 3 things, that could happen in Landover.
That's funny. Steve, that's funny. I lived at 1808 Village Green Drive in Landover. I did. I lived at 5104, not 5104 Fifth Street. I lived at Georgia and Jefferson, like 7th Street and Jefferson, around the corner from the Macombo Lounge. I lived at 861 Venable Place, Northwest D.C., right off the Piney Branch Road as it goes into D.C., right across the alley from a cemetery. I have never lived in Virginia. All right,
Because, like,
Steve.
listen, if you had gone through all that and been like, oh, I never lived near a striptease place, I'd be like, well, then why would you put it in the damn thing? Why would you have us thinking that?
Steve, you're 5, rapid fire. Something about you now that your younger self would be impressed with.
Ooh, something about me now. I hope that he would be impressed with my ability to be a father.
All right. Your favorite color?
Favorite color's always been blue.
Oh, you and me both. All right. Here's a good one. John Stockton, Gary Payton, Kevin Johnson, or Magic Johnson?
Ooh. I think the obvious would be for me to go with Magic, is what probably most people would think.
You like the glove, though.
But as I was as a player, I lock dudes up. So I'm going with GP. I got
All right.
good glove.
Biggest monetary tip you've ever given someone?
Non-restaurant.
I was thinking restaurant, but make it yours.
Oh, restaurant. That's trouble. In restaurant, I think it was like $300.
Okay.
But just non-monetary. I once just walked up to a dude and gave him $100.
Okay. I'm going to stop for a second. My story is we were at last year, as we were trying to get out of COVID, we went to the outlets, talked to a young lady who was going to Bowie State University. She was a freshman. She missed her prom and all that stuff. Our meal was like $30-$40, right? And I dropped her $100. And she looked at her and she's like, "Are you serious?" And she started crying. I told her, "I'm still waiting for her to do this." I said, "The only thing you owe me is you got to send me an email and let me know how it's going over at Bowie State. That's the only thing you owe me." Adam is annoyed about that because he lost his tooth during that meal, and he was in the bathroom when I gave her the tip, and he wanted to see her reaction. All right, your last one, Steve. One thing about coaching you just assume never do again.
Something like that I wouldn't, if I didn't have to do it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, cut. I hate it. It's the worst.
You know what? I thought that would be your answer.
It's the only thing I hate about my job is having to make cuts.
Coach Casey, you are up, and your tough one is now Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, Karl Malone, or Kevin Garnett.
I wish I would have got that one.
Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, Karl Malone, or KG?
Who?
I'm between the mailman and Chuck. And reason being is I've always had a soft spot for both those guys not getting a title. Obviously, KG did. Sean Kemp was close as well. I'm going to go with Chuck, man. I just love that guy. I do.
Hey, Steve, can you do me a Sean Kemp, please? You have a great Sean Kemp impression when he dunks on Bamas.
Oh,
Yeah, he does.
Oh, man.
Why does he drop both of them on you?
Man, he was special.
Yeah, he was.
I mean,
He's special enough to have about 45 kids, though, don't he?
No.
Hey, he wasn't shooting blanks.
Hey, Coach O'Neal, your favorite thing that Erica cooks? I don't know if we ever covered this.
I think you have.
Man, you know what? I love Taco Tuesday, man. She hooks up some incredible seasoning and breaks it down on Taco Tuesday. It could be the fajitas, it could be the beef, it could be, whatever. She is
Right.
It is baller. It is great.
All right. Who would you like to switch jobs with for one day?
Oh, baby. I would like to switch jobs with Coach Turner. I'd stand there at the, Carmody Center court, Dick Myers court, and run some cutter, run some defensive drills, a little shell drill, get out there and have the water right there by the announcer table, right? Slam it down when I'm upset. I'm switch jobs with Coach Turner.
You mean the announcer table that no one ever hired me to come down there and announce their games?
Hey, you don't want to sit there, man. That water's getting, when he slams down, man.
Whatever. You were the assistant AD. You could have made it happen, though.
Hey, that's in the rear view, brother.
But there's another WCAC team who hired me for all their games, so there you go. What topic could you give a presentation on without any prep?
I think building a program, right? How to build a staff, build a group, build a program, and just get in there and the principles and mission and how you start that. Exactly.
You did that well because you got a bunch of titles. You won a bunch in a row. We appreciate what you did there at I Street. And a little bit later, we're going to talk about what you are doing now and how that new project is going. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting five. The starting five. A Squared Home and Office Solutions is the go-to source for home or office network and audio-visual solutions. We can help with smart home integration, wireless networking, media rooms, security systems, and more. We will link technology to your lifestyle seamlessly. Read our reviews online. Visit homeandofficesolutions.com for more info or call 240-356-8832. A Squared Home and Office Solutions. We are home advisor, screened, and approved.
Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our friends of the program: Thomas Alford, Melissa Alshab, Margie Billings, Adam Cross, Chelsea Cross, Paula Cross, Lynn Johnson, Erica O'Neill, Sean Parker, Kathleen Talbot, Andrea Tarones, Timothy Whittier. If you'd like to become a friend of the program, go to www.turnerandoneil.com and click Become a Friend. Collins Funeral Home has served families of Greater Washington with compassion and kindness since 1939. Our friends John and Terry McHugh carry on this family tradition into the third generation. The McHugh brothers, along with their experienced funeral directors and caring staff, are ready to assist you at any time. Whether you have experienced a loss, need to make plans in advance, or simply have a question, please contact them to discuss how they can assist at your time of need. Visit collinsfuneralhome.com or call 301-593-9500.
This segment of Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by World Class Training, locations in Rockville, Maryland and Alexandria, Virginia. Performance training and physical therapy. That's what you'll find at Healthy Baller. Hi, this is Kurt Cross, producer of Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill. Paula and I have our 13 and 11-year-old children training with the wonderful crew at Healthy Baller Rockville. Healthy Baller has created a customized training experience for our kids, and we are super pleased with the results. Their excellent training and dedication to each athlete is apparent from your first consultation through the ongoing training sessions. Paula and I can personally attest to the results. Become your own success story. They offer group and team training, individual workouts, or semi-private training in Rockville and Alexandria. Call 844-622-5537 or visit healthyballer.com.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill.
Welcome back to Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill. This segment's partner is Healthy Baller. Before we get into some talk, we're going to talk NFL, but props to Joey T. His 2-minute drill is gaining popularity. Don't forget, folks who are listening and watching right now, if you're looking for our fantasy football segment, it drops each Tuesday at 12 noon. Joey T, he got a lot of listeners, by the way, guys. I mean, we better watch out. It might be the Joey T show before too long, but he's giving us some good content. Week after week, it seems like the guys, you guys know this, but it seems like the guys that he's telling you are going to be duds. You need to drop them. He told you for a reason, and it looks like the guys he said are going to be your sleepers. Well, he said it for a reason. Now, how about those Skins, gentlemen? We got a quality win, bittersweet. Lost Chase Young in the process, but I was actually officiating a wedding out in Clarksburg, Maryland, and when I leave the car, it's 13 zip Skins. I'm like, well, this ain't gonna last. It's the first half. I come back, and it's I guess at that point it was 23-19. I'm like, if we get a field goal, Tom Terrific is gonna drive down, tie the game with a with a touchdown, and wouldn't it be our luck? They're going to go for 2 and just go for the win instead of going for the tie in overtime. But damn it, if the Skins did not have a 10, 11-minute sweet drive all the way down the field, it wasn't McLaurin that took a couple of big hits and still caught the ball?
Yeah, he had a big third down conversion, and he got rocked.
Yeah, I didn't think that boy was going to get up.
And that was like the second big hit he had taken because he got knocked out of the game for a little bit in the first half.
Okay,
and
I didn't see that.
And then came back in and made that play.
So what you're saying is he definitely saw the birdies when he got up. Is that what you're saying?
That or, that you get the wind knocked out of you.
One of those, right?
Kind of feeling that. But they went for that touchdown on fourth down, too, and to stick to the offensive line because that defensive front for the Bucs is one of the best in the NFL, if not the best. And, to kind of adjust a little bit, which we haven't seen them do all year. And, for guys to go down like Chase Young, which you hate to see, and then Montez Sweat, the other guy wasn't even playing, other defensive end.
Is he the one with the broken jaw?
Difficult, or typical, Washington football, right? We're 3-6 now, and now all of a sudden you beat the Bucs, and everybody's talking about play. Can we still get that wild card and playoff? And at least it makes it more watchable, right?
Right. Coach Turner, your Skins did it. It makes Monday better, doesn't it?
It definitely makes Monday better. But I'm not gonna lie. I'll take the loss to keep Chase Young healthy.
Because we ain't making the playoffs anyway, right?
No, I just mean, he's a hometown kid. I know he played over there in Hyattsville, but you never want to see anybody go down. But you certainly would never want to see anybody go down that you know and certainly care about. And wishing them speedy recovery because we're definitely gonna need him when he gets back. But it's good to see the Skins win, man. I know what everyone doubted and basically said they had no chance of winning the game.
I was one of those people.
And they won, and they won doing it the right way and looking good. So hats off. And I thought Coach Rivera had a great little post game speech to the boys. So
yeah, he did.
That was pretty cool to see because I have a lot of respect for him. I know he's been dealt a bad hand in terms of not the team for me, but who he has to work for, who is
in his health, his health as well, right?
And him, in his health and all that he's had to battle through since he's been here in Washington. Man, hats off to him, and couldn't be more proud of for somebody like that guy. All
right, when this episode hits, we will be 1 week away from hopefully Detroit getting a win. Now they're getting closer.
They got the tie, baby. They got the tie.
I was actually hoping they didn't get the win because I want to see it on Thanksgiving. You guys are building me up to see it on Thanksgiving.
It's going to happen.
Casey said happen. I'm going with Casey. I believe he's right. It's happening on
You're going to be on like your second plate of some stuffing,
mac and cheese.
Have a little bit, just the first to kind of set a turkey, a little cranberry, and they're going to pull it off in Motown, baby.
You're talking about Thanksgiving. I'm going to forget the script. Casey, you first. What is your perfect plate? It has to fit on one plate. What's your perfect Thanksgiving plate? Since that's your favorite holiday, talk to me.
A little more dark meat than the white meat. Just saying. Okay. That's my preference. And I like a little bit of stuffing. Actually, not a little bit of stuffing. A lot of stuffing. And the stuffing that has a little bit of the sausage in it. I put the gravy all over the stuffing. I love the green beans. I love a little bit of mac and cheese. And the soft rolls, not the hard rolls of bread, some soft rolls, and gravy just topped over all of it with a cold beverage and a big glass of water, and then just keep it coming.
Keep it coming. Coach Turner, talk to me. Your perfect Thanksgiving plate.
I'll tell you my perfect plate, but I got to ask Casey about the rolls. Okay. Where do you get your rolls, Casey?
It's a secret. My mother-in-law brings them over. I don't know where she gets them. She gets the same rolls every year for Thanksgiving. Don't ask. All we know is it's just like we're out of rolls. And she gets up, boom, goes back, comes, boom, pops them up a little bit, and there we go. I'll tell you off air, Coach Turner.
No, I was just saying because if you don't know, you're in a walking distance from one of the best rolls in the city.
Well, tell us.
Four Corners Bakery.
Yeah,
you got to pre-order them to get them.
Yeah, she didn't get them from there.
Okay, well, just know if you ever run into
you got to pre-order them for Thanksgiving or in general.
For holidays.
All right, so if I can go get some tomorrow, probably
you could easily go get some tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
but their rolls are they're worth it, and they're
which ones in particular?
It's just their little, I don't know, whatever kind of rolls you would call them, dinner rolls.
All right, I'm gonna go
Curtis, I
mean, you just tell them it's the rolls that everybody comes here for the holidays. They'll know what you're talking about.
Okay. We sometimes on Thanksgiving will get the oysters, and that's kind of your appetizer, and we'll go shuck them in the back. You can have some fresh raw oysters, baby.
All right, not for me.
I know
I'm
that
not a
doesn't
seafood
excite
guy.
you, but I think Steve, that excite you.
I'll eat some oyster.
All right, what's your Thanksgiving plate, sir?
I gotta have. I'm like Casey. I like the dark meat
All right.
with some good old gravy on it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have good old mac and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Kurtis.
Gotta have my rolls.
Yep.
My Four Corners Bakery, Woodmore Bakery rolls.
Okay.
And I like to make little sandwiches out of them with that good spiral.
Steve,
honey,
stop,
honey
Steve.
ham.
Yes.
Spiral honey ham. Casey, got next time I do one, I'll make sure I send some your way.
You gonna slice them off some?
Oh, the stuffing with the sausage. I make a pretty good stuffing with the sausage myself. So sometimes that's my duty for Thanksgiving. And I'm like Casey. I like either some good green beans or some grandma. For me, it's grandma's greens.
There you go.
And grandma's greens, and that's a darn good plate for me.
So for me, I have to start the day with a Pop-Tart because that's all I want to eat, a strawberry frosted Pop-Tart because I want to because I want to be hungry later.
Right.
Toasted or out the pot.
It's got to be toasted.
So you're not making one of your famous breakfasts that we see on Facebook Live? None of that?
No, none of that, no. It's going to be toasted and a little bit burnt on the edges, but it's got to be the turkey. I don't care if it's dark meat or white meat. I don't care. It's going to be mac and cheese. It's going to be the collard greens. It's going to be Paula's sweet potatoes. Oh, my goodness. And sometimes my mom will make a prime rib or, like you said, the honey baked ham. I'll get me a spiral, nice little ham, and then I got to have that peach cobbler with ice cream for dessert.
I'm gonna throw one more on top. Gene, my pops.
Right.
He makes these unbelievable smothered baked pork chops.
Oh, come on.
And they just fall off the bone. They are unbelievable.
Oh,
matter of fact, I'm gonna have to get on him. He's got to do it this year.
All right. All right. So we do talk about sports here, folks. All right. Division leaders, the Titans. The Titans are surprised. They're the number one team in the AFC right now.
They might be
without the big dog.
Without Derrick Henry.
Without the big dog.
Yeah. The Chiefs are climbing their way back into relevance.
I'm not giving them all the way yet, though.
No, heck no. I still don't think they're real.
Their conference is still they're in the head, but they're all right there jumbled up.
Yeah, 6-4, somewhere like that. You got the Bills who showed up last week. You got the Ravens. The Ravens, did they lose last week?
They lost.
They did, embarrassingly, to the Dolphins.
Yeah, but they're still sitting up top. All right, over in the NFC, you got the Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, Cardinals. There are no surprises there. I think the Packers are the best team over in the NFC, followed by the Cowboys, actually. I think both of those teams can beat the Bucks. Of course, we saw what happens any given Sunday with the Skins beating the Bucks. You know, college football talk is where I'm a little void, so I have to turn it over to you guys. But Oklahoma took a free fall from number 4 to 12. They lost to Baylor, and they did not look good in that loss. I was at a gig. I had my iPad watching Caleb Williams. Talk to me, Coach.
Well, I mean, it's the obvious. We've talked about it even when they were rolling. Their defense is terrible.
Right.
And they got exposed, and Baylor ran all over them. It's wherever they wanted to, and then the quarterback was making some unbelievable plays with his feet.
It's tough to come off a bye week, right? Feeling like you're on top of the mountain, and you go into Waco and play the Baylor Bears down there, and look, they're coming for. Go ahead.
I will say this: you might be going there. I hope I don't cut you off and say what you were going to say. I know this: if that game is not conflicting with anything basketball, I'm going to Oklahoma next year to watch that game, because everything that happened after the game is going to make that game one of the biggest games of the year next year.
So you're talking about the guy kicking the field goal at the end as time ran out. And you know why he said that, right? Because, if there's strength of schedule or point differential, which is total BS,
That's BS.
Right? Total BS. You do that because
when your school screwed up running on the field when there's still time on the clock, you should have took the knee. Now, had they not run on the field, and maybe you did that for whatever reason you're given, might be able to live with it a little bit. But after they had to go force their team to come back on the field for 1 second, that didn't matter anymore. Like, be careful. Be
Right.
careful. Be careful.
I hear
I'm
you.
telling you right now, that game next year comes on the schedule before November 8th. I'm finding a way to have a ticket and be at that game.
Yeah, Sooners
All right,
going to
talk
put a
to me
beat down on it.
Talk to me about who has the inside track to sneak into the playoffs with Oklahoma losing. Is it Notre Dame?
I think it's getting closer. Well, I think it's getting closer to lock Cincinnati in. Forget who might sneak in. I think Cincinnati is a team now that gets a chance to be locked in, and you're probably fighting that last spot between Ohio State and Oregon, in my opinion.
And look, it makes that Ohio State-Michigan game, which is already huge, even bigger, right?
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh's got that, proverbial monkey on the back that he just can't beat the Buckeyes nor beat top 10 teams. And they're kind of putting together a nice little year outside of that Michigan State loss. I mean, there's a lot of openings there. Oklahoma State, Oregon, Notre Dame's still sitting around there. Their one loss is to Cincinnati. So they've got, I think the easiest schedule coming through. So, look, I mean, for us being fans of Oklahoma, just because we worked at a school where Caleb was, obviously they've still got everything right in front of them. A couple people loses, they win the Big 12, right? They're in the conversation, but it's going to make the next couple weeks really, really exciting. And who knows what else could happen there?
Could Michigan win out and slide in?
Yes, I mean, I'm looking over here to my right.
I think they're the team.
rankings.
I think they're the team that could quietly jump Notre Dame and sneak in if they were to win all the way out.
For sure, absolutely. Because I mean, if you look at Notre Dame's loss, which is Cincinnati, who everybody obviously, they're the number 3 ranked team in the country. But Michigan State's really good. But I could easily see Michigan sliding in there if they beat Ohio State, and luckily they're playing them in the Big House. So we'll see what happens.
Hold on. Y'all glossing over the fact that Michigan still has to play Maryland. They got to come through College Park first, brother. All right? What if Maryland puts a beat down on them?
Hey, it's a good thing that the Terps have a little bit of gold and or yellow in their color scheme.
Oh, man. Come on, Steve. You saying the Terps can't beat Michigan?
No.
Just like that, huh?
No.
Okay. Not even going to give me anything on that? Just no. All right. Well, we got some more stuff to talk about in that NBA, boy. We got to get to some things here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back.
Right now.
I'm watching Golden State put a beat down on Brooklyn. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Next Level Lacrosse. Train like a Spartan. Next Level Lacrosse is dedicated to providing a terrific lacrosse experience that is intensely focused on player development and character formation. Players at all levels will improve significantly through professional coaching and carefully designed training programs. We stress proper technique and a tireless work ethic. From beginning programs to rec leagues, travel clubs to summer programs, we develop the young and experienced athletes alike. Next Level Lacrosse has a rich tradition of running the best middle and high school lacrosse leagues in the DMV area. You'll find us at www.nextlevelspartans.com or call 240-497-1460.
We invite your questions, comments, and show ideas. Simply go to www.turnerandoneal.com and click Submit Your Idea.
Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our partners, sponsors, and donors. Our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, the Insurance Alliance Group LLC, and Marquise Evans of Keller Williams Capital Properties. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media, and Gene the Barber, now Max Life Barber and Salon.
This segment of Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by...
If you're buying or selling your home, start your journey. Your goals plus our expertise equals success. Welcome to Keller Williams Capital Properties. Let us work with you to find and purchase the home of your dreams. Working with us guarantees you the local knowledge and market information you need. We are local experts with a reputation for excellence. We're here to help guide you through every step of the process with expert advice and representation. For more information, contact Marquise Evans at 888-357-5608 or visit www.yourmyagent.com. Keller Williams Capital Properties and Marquise Evans. www.yourmyagent.com.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill.
We are back with Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill. Thanks for listening and watching as we enjoy meeting you here each week. This segment's partner is Marquise Evans and Keller Williams Capital Properties. Now on to the NBA. How about those Wizards, Coach O'Neill?
You the man, you the man.
Uh-oh, that's the reason I'm a Bullets fan. They're playing great ball. They're getting contributions from people like, I can't say his name, not Ellington. Is it Ellington?
Montrezl Harrell.
No, I mean, I know Montrez is doing his thing, Kuzma, KCP. Obviously, Bradley Beal has been out, and it's more impressive that they're keeping this thing going with Bradley Beal not there. He's mourning the passing of his grandmother. But who, is it Dinwiddie?
Spencer Dinwiddie, yeah.
Yes. Dinwiddie is really stepping in and doing some things. The Wizards look, I mean, I haven't seen many of their games, but on paper, when I look in the standings, they got to be pretty complete because they're finding a way to compete all the way through the fourth quarter. Coach O'Neill, you watch a little bit more Wizards than I do. What's your take?
I mean, look, you just mentioned Spencer Dinwiddie. Like one night, if he's not shooting well, you see Kuzma step up and have a great night. You get energy off the bench from Montrezl Harrell. You have someone that's young like Denny Advia. I think I'm saying his name right. They're playing, like I said, like you just mentioned, defense in the second half and the fourth quarter. How long will this last? We'll see. But kudos to the entire organization for, bringing these guys in. I think having the vision enough to have Westbrook come in for this, 1 year, kind of have some excitement, look at the numbers he put up, and then literally get the Laker house, come east. Right. And they're having fun, and it's exciting to watch. It's something this town hasn't seen in close to 40 years for them to be 10-3 in the first 13 games. It looks like they're having a great time. And I think, Cole asked me, he said, when I come home, can we go to a Wizards game? I mean, I can't remember the last time I've been asked by my kids, like, can we go to a Wizards game? I'm like, absolutely. Let's find a way to go to a Wizards game because it's exciting basketball. It
is. Coach Turner, you watching much Wizards? I know you got a bunch going on with you.
I haven't really gotten to watch all the games, but, seeing the highlights, and certainly I'm always checking those tickers and all that stuff the next day. But I will say the one stat that is interesting to me in terms of where they are with them being in first place at 10-3. We talked about it from the beginning. They got a coach that preaches defense. And what they've been able to do down the stretch is defend, and it's allowed them to win close games. They're 10-3 with a difference of point margin is 4.9 between their output of scoring and their opponent's output of scoring.
But their defense
when you can win games in those 5 point and below margins, that's how you pick up wins. And hey, hats off to them. I hope it can keep lasting. I hope it lasts long enough that they'll make the playoffs.
That'd be great.
Now they can drop lower and get to the middle of the pack or even at the bottom. But if they can keep winning like this and give themselves a chance to be a playoff team, I think now you might see an organization that says, okay, let's find the pieces. Let's go after some things. Let's spend some money and go after chasing the championship.
Right, because if you're playing the Nets, 4 or 5 more times. You're playing the Heat as they start to get their, themselves organized, and some of the other teams in the East, which the Bulls are great, and some other teams that just aren't playing the way they should be. But look, they built themselves a little bit of a cushion. They're learning how to win, and you kind of continue in this trend. I mean, Steve, they'll be in good shape. So
I think the other thing you can't not pay attention to is that because they got that group of Lakers, they also have a group of guys who understood how to play with each other, and also obviously have a respect because they've been playing with each other. Now they've come to a new franchise. They've allowed, of course, when Bill's healthy, to be the face and the leader, but they've bought into being a really good team, and it's fun to see them, sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Speaking of those Lakers don't know who they are. Here's your example. They spent the money. They've got more all-stars than the Wizards got, but you got to be able to gel.
I told you what somebody said to me. They might have made a mistake trying to bring the Avengers together.
You think?
And I thought it was the best line ever. Like they tried to bring the Avengers together, and it doesn't look like it's working. And I hate saying it because I love this guy as a player, but Westbrook just doesn't fit.
How bad are the Rockets, Curtis?
I love his desire. I love how tough he's always been. I love how he's always come and shown up every day to compete. But there's something that doesn't work for him when he's playing with other big name guys, and he doesn't even really look like himself playing right now. And
he's a turnover machine.
And if he's not giving you who he is when it's him and the miracles, it's not going to work.
Casey, the Rockets are god-awful. They must have lost by 40 points last night. As we talk about this right now, there is someone on the screen playing for Golden State who I don't know right now, and Golden State is beating Brooklyn by 27 points. And Clay is not even back yet. I will take credit for this. I told you how exciting they were going to be to watch. I talked about the fact that I think they're good, and I think they're good without Clay right now. They've got some youth. They've got some people back from injury, but Clay is still sitting there, and if he finds one iota of a way to mesh back with his old crew, this team is going to be dangerous. They've got the best team, the best record in the NBA, and they just keep pouring it on. Brooklyn's not ready for prime time. They're losing by 25. KD's already on the bench. So you better watch out for this Golden State team. Portland and the Bucks, they're not even in the conversation right now. What's going on with Dame? I think there's these new rules in the way that the NBA officials are calling it. People like James Harden, their numbers are down. They used to benefit from being on that free throw line, and James Harden's numbers are down by like 10 ppg. What's going on? That's a separate subject, but Portland and the Bucks aren't even in the conversation. They're like, you see that line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? The Bucks are like number 10 in the East right now, and I know it's early, but you take this and you multiply it 5 or 6 more times out, and that's the end of the season. What's going on in Milwaukee?
I said it to you thinking last week is that I don't think they're fresh. I think you're playing guys who've been playing a lot of ball, and I think you probably gotta do some load management with a couple of those guys on that team, and let themselves heal, let themselves get fresh, and then make the run because they have the talent to make the run. There's no doubt. All they got to do is get in the playoffs. If you're at the top of the East, you don't want to see them in the 6, 7, 8 seed because you'll be in trouble.
Okay, all right. What's up with Brooklyn? Brooklyn's not winning games that you would think would be a little bit closer.
I think they're still trying to figure themselves out with without having Kyrie. But I mean, come on, they're still one game out of being the number one team.
Yeah, I mean they're 10-4.
Okay, they're losing to a great team that's who they can see in the championship. So let's
they're not just losing. They're getting their butts.
I don't think Brooklyn. I don't think we're talking like I don't think we can talk about Brooklyn like we're talking about the Bucks.
No.
Brooklyn's probably still the best team in the East right now.
Yeah, they're not even the same category, and one of those 3 losses for the aforementioned Wizards was going up to Brooklyn and not getting it done. So,
okay. Coach Turner, what are you
I think they'll be just fine.
Coach Turner, what are you excited about? Week 1 down. What are you excited about down there on I Street, sir?
Unfortunately, our football team is out. I would have loved to see them get to that championship and go for broke again. But I am excited to get my whole group back together this week. I haven't had everybody together because a couple of those guys play on the football team. And
you mentioned that last week.
We got a young man out with a cast for a couple more weeks. So I'm excited about seeing our team gel and just kind of grow. I think this is a team that's going to have some ups and downs early, but I'm confident in their ability to compete and push themselves, and certainly saw what they did in the summer without practice, that they know that they can play with anybody. They certainly have always been a group that will rise to the occasion of who we're playing and playing big in big games. And I continue with a schedule that has been playing a lot of big games. I think probably the one thing I'm probably the most excited to see is, for me, is that that first time I get to yell "stick it" and see my 6'8" Condor knock a deep three down. That'll be the moment for me that this season really gets going.
All right. When do we tip off?
Our first game is the day after Thanksgiving, so my guys aren't going to be able to enjoy that plate I described because I'm going to tell them they got to eat light.
Because you will know it the next day if they did not eat light.
No doubt about it, you'll know it. Hopefully, the other team doesn't eat light. I'm gonna tell their coach, man, what do you need? I'm treating Thanksgiving for the whole.
You
team.
delivering?
I'm delivering what you need.
WCAC Championship football. St. John's beat Gonzaga last week. They felt some kind of way about that close game the week before because they blanked Gonzaga, unfortunately, in last week's game. Who do they see? They see Good Counsel, I think, right?
They see Good Counsel, who led start to finish against DeMatha in the semifinals, playing basically on DeMatha's home field. You go back a few weeks ago. Good Counsel had St. John's beat, only to give up a couple plays over the top late, and I think they had like a situation where there was a pick six, something like that. But other than that, they had that game. They kind of had that game won without a couple mistakes down the stretch. So I hope you're in for a great WCAC title game for those who are football fanatics and football.
And on the other side, you got, is it Riken and Carroll maybe?
Yeah, and Carroll's having a dream season.
Carroll's on
11-0,
10-0, 11-0. That's gonna be a fun one too.
It's tough to beat those teams twice. Obviously, Riken's done a good job in that side of the division of the league. But seeing Carroll, something about seeing a little bit of energy back on Collins Field up there off North Capitol to the program that it was, and some of the things they've been through. It's kind of hard not to root for the Lions to get it done and get that perfect season. That'd be pretty cool.
Where are these games going to be played?
PG Sports and Learning Complex.
I was going to have all the games. All right. What else sports are getting going? We've got wrestling. What else do we have coming up?
Hockey, baby. Hockey.
Swimmers.
You already said wrestling. Squash, right?
you get a little squash going.
Yeah.
You got wrestling. You got swimming. You got ice
hockey.
Bocce.
Is there any bocce
indoor
ball
track?
going on?
I'm sure there's.
We get indoor track.
Get all that stuff rocking and rolling, man.
Right,
but
cool.
Hockey, usually wrestling, swimming are the big ones. Swimming sort of later in the winter, I think, is when those the kids from all the schools are battling for metros and the Washington area, Wimbledon League and look, man. We interviewed one of the best swimmers in the world on this podcast, and so this is an area to maybe continue to highlight. There's some good swimmers in this region.
And then you're gonna have the spring sports. Now this is their preseason, so
that's right.
Looking forward to it. Talk to me, Gonzaga, UCLA, Kansas, Michigan. Top four on the men's side of the college hoops talk. Juwan inks a new 5-year deal, so he'll be in Michigan for quite some time. And on the women's side, you got South Carolina, UConn, UMD, and Indiana. I'm going to tell you, something feels right about this Maryland women's team this year. It does. I've seen it happen before, and they played a bunch of cupcakes. I mean, they played Marymount tonight, and I didn't look at the score, but last I checked, they were whooping the heck out of Marymount, and that's not really a game I would consider one of their strength of schedule type games. But what are we seeing on the college basketball side for the men's, gentlemen?
I think the first three teams you named, Gonzaga, UCLA, Kansas, I could peg them today for Final Four teams the way they're playing and what they look like. Michigan's got a mix of young and some returners. I mean, they're in a dogfight right now. As we're on the show, they're in a dogfight with Seton Hall. But I think from the early looks, Duke should be in that conversation. They are very good in that game that they won, open up the year against Kentucky. They showed what they could be. But then you go out today and let's see what happens with this. Coach K's grandson
is in trouble.
DWI with the franchise player in the car.
With the help of that franchise player.
So explain. Can anyone explain? I wasn't sure. What does aid and abetting the DWI? Does that mean you knew he was a driving drunk and you,
or he bought the liquor for him?
So I don't know what all that. So I'm curious to find out where that goes from here. But that's not a good thing when when the GOAT's grandson is the problem child of the program.
No.
Right. Maryland women won by 41, by the way, over Mount St. Mary's. You see a lot of that on the women's side.
I'll tell you the other thing you've seen in the men's game thus far is it's been a lot of the lower D1 schools bumping and banging with the big dogs. Dartmouth goes out and beats Georgetown at home the first night. My kid Alan Blunt plays at UMass Lowell, hits 2 big free throws down the stretch to knock off Dayton. You're going to see another tournament, I think, where, yes, the big dogs are back, but don't sleep on the veteran teams who've got their returning players and senior and junior-led teams in the mix, giving some of these big dogs the fight during the first couple rounds.
Okay, we're going to be looking for it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our sports wrap-up. We've got one more segment coming. We will be back in just a moment. Connect with us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turner On Podcast, on YouTube, just search Turner and O'Neill, then subscribe. And of course, you can visit our website at www.turnerandoneil.com.
Become a friend of the program. Friendship contributions start at just $25. Each contribution helps to fuel Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. To find out more or make your contribution, go to www.turnerandoneil.com and click Become a Friend.
The final word is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
Welcome back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. This segment's partner is the Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Coach O'Neill, a couple of weeks ago, we talked to Coach Turner about what this looks like for his program. He's coming back after a year that looked unlike any other year, but you made a change where your year now is going to look like no other year. How's the early going over at Mabry Academy, sir? I think you're pretty busy, huh?
Very busy. Very busy. It's it's going great. It's different. It's hard not to look and completely distance yourself from the folks that you spent 21 years working with, and add another 4 as a student there, and see how things are going. But for me, which is really neat, I think a lot of folks has trusted in the person I am and the coach I am, and I'm still working very closely and with a number of young Eagles that had played for me and have come over and kind of going through the process of our program. But it is a lot, from not only working with individuals, but the groups we work with, the other coaches and programs that we're meeting with that sort of want to dive into our model and use it. And then not just WCAC schools, but, public schools, whether it be in Virginia, Montgomery County, PG County. We've met with a lot of different folks and coaches that want to come work, and trainers, not only male but female, as we expand the business. And so every day it's a new challenge. And I think that's what I love about it is that, working 21 years, you kind of know, look, the lights when you're driving down University Boulevard, New Hampshire Avenue to North Capitol, you can time them up. You know what the day's like, what the coffee smells like, boom, boom, boom. It's like every day, Groundhog Day. So every day for me is a different challenge, is a different exciting project to take on. And it couldn't ask for a better start.
What's getting you excited, though? What are you excited about over there?
Couple things. It's hard not to, when we coach, and all 3 of us are coaches, you get into in these rivalries with other schools, and you're so focused on your kids, the kids that are in your program, and you sort of take for granted the amazing amount of kids that Steve would get to do it when he coaches, Summer League or Team USA, kids from these other schools that you play against. And for me to be able to coach and work with kids from schools that I never had the opportunity to do, but more or less was like, all right, how are we gonna beat this team, or how are we gonna shut these kids down? It's awesome. It's awesome to meet kids from all these different schools, from different ages, and most importantly, to really start to see now, as I'm about halfway through sort of my first quarter of individuals, and to see that what we're teaching kind of come to fruition with their focus and their awareness, their schedules, following up on how much water they're drinking every single day, to the schedule when they wake up and they know that their 5 to Thrive of think, move, fuel, recover, and connect is something like that means a lot to them. It gets me totally jacked up. And to have kids like actually understand that there's something to having an elite mindset when it comes to not only training, but going to school, being a good person, and then playing the game, like using their brains actually and functioning with their brains and moving forward it's a pretty neat thing.
All right. So talk to me about this. You got into this, you threw caution to the wind, you felt very passionate about this. Tell me what smacked you in the face. What's the biggest difference between a 9 to 5 and what you're doing here?
It's, walking my girls to school is a big one. While I could have done that, still working down in the city and
no, I want to know what smacked you in the face, where you said, "Uh-oh, I didn't know it was going to be like this." Like what threw you off?
The biggest change that kind of threw me off was that I could do this, right? I could actually make the decision to work and then start a program and not have to report somewhere every single day. That was the biggest smack in the face. Like, holy crap, I'm actually doing this. Like, we're starting this new company and it's working.
Coach Turner, I threw out a bunch of questions at him. What you got for him? You got anything for this young man?
I guess. What do you
biggest smack in the face is not seeing Steve Turner across the hall every single day.
No, what is there anything that, like I was gonna say, what do you miss? But I guess I would phrase it more in, is there something that maybe you missed that's ever made you say, what the hell am I doing?
Steve, I think.
And there might not be. I mean, I'm just curious.
No, I think that's to be determined, because I think, what I love was the war room with the coaches, before a big game. I love the locker room after a big win, or sometimes a loss, because that was real, right? Like, you were in there and it was us and we're mourning this loss together, licking our wounds. And that hasn't really happened yet, right? We haven't gotten to that point. And I think that will hit me really, really hard. Recently, talking to my assistant coaches and helping them, because the successor is one of my best friends and 11-year head assistant. And I'm so happy for him that this is his opportunity to lead the charge.
He was on
but to know that these guys you've been working with are now kind of off on their own and running this and doing it on their own, and they're getting ready for these meetings. And I'm not in that text chain, or I'm not in that email chain, like that was kind of awkward, to be like, oh yeah, right. It's not my program anymore. But I'm very proud. But I think, Steve, that'll hit me, March 7th when they open up in that first game. I'll feel that. But I'm really happy where I am. I'm excited to do this, and it's no regrets whatsoever.
That's awesome.
Good man. Well, let's go to our last break, and we will be back with the final word. Building your brand is an important part of your business growth. By advertising with Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill, you'll gain the exposure and brand recognition behind our podcast. From season to season, we retain 92% of our advertisers. With category exclusivity, your business will benefit from our popularity online and during the podcast. Advertising with Turner and O'Neill equals exposure on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and more than 15 listening platforms total. Inquire today and let's partner to build your brand.
At Peace Players, we use the power of sport to unite, educate, and inspire young people to create a more peaceful world. We offer support programming, peace education, and leadership development to those living in communities in conflict. We challenge the hate that is driven by the fear of our differences. We bridge divides between people through the game of basketball, and we develop young leaders who help to change perceptions. Find out more at www.peaceplayers.org.
This segment of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by
Insurance Alliance Group manages the gap between damage appraisal estimates from your insurance company and what you are rightfully owed based on your policy. They work on behalf of policyholders with claim assistance and disputes to maximize claims. Insurance Alliance Group serves as professional advisors and trusted advocates. The Insurance Alliance Group handles business and home property loss. Request a free claim review with the property loss professionals. Insurance Alliance Group. Visit us at insurancealliancegroup.com or call 866-574-4773.
portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
We are back, and it's time to wrap this episode up with some thanks and, of course, our final word. We invite you to become a friend of the program. To do so, go to www.turnerandoneil.com and click Become a Friend. We'd like to thank our Season 3 friends, Thomas Alford, Melissa Alshab, Margie Billings, Adam Cross, Chelsea Cross, Paula Cross, Lynn Johnson, Erica O'Neill, Justin O'Neill, Sean Parker, Diane Panasevich, Amy, Dan, Noah, and Ellie Richard, Kathleen Talbot, Andrea Toronis, and Timothy Whittier. Become a donor, sponsor, or partner by visiting turnerandoneil.com and click Media Kit. Advertising with Turner and O'Neill will put your brand in front of thousands of listeners and viewers each week. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube by simply going to turnerandoneil.com and clicking any of the social media icons. Before we sign off, thanks to our listeners and viewers. This podcast is fueled by you, and we appreciate your support. DJ Krissy, we will see you next week. Coach O'Neill, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Love the episode. Love chopping it up with you two guys. Miss you, Krissy. See you soon, young lady. And been thinking about you and wishing you the best. My final thought is happy birthday, Cole O'Neill. Proud of you, young man. Well, 21 is it's just another year, just another birthday. But your mom and dad and your sisters love you, buddy.
All right, that's good stuff. I will say, as far as me and my final word, always love chopping it up with you guys, talking stuff, learning some stuff, and maybe giving you guys some information. Last week, we skipped out on the starting five. It was fun to get back to that. Loved hearing about y'all Thanksgiving plates and what y'all are gonna be eating and all that good stuff. But gentlemen, I think we have some special episodes coming up. So we won't let the cat out of the bag, but if you are a loyal listener, you know what we do around the holidays. I will leave it at that. Thank you, Coach O'Neill, for being here as always. Is that a Mabry Academy? Is that Mabry Academy gear?
Yeah, a little hoodie swag. You want something?
Waiting for my 3X.
I just want to know where my t-shirt. Do y'all have the Under Armours? Y'all gonna be going cheap?
I need that sweatshirt.
No, because our logo is the Academy. We don't need some Under Armour, Nike, man. This is our logo.
I'm saying like in the back on the tag or whatever. I like the Under Armour material. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. Wait for the holidays, baby.
All right, look. Well, you know what? You keep talking. Hold on.
I know. There's a razor sitting there. I want it.
About to use mine tonight.
It's still here. It's still here waiting on you.
I need mine bad.
Wrap it up. That's the Christmas gift.
It's not I bought it like 2 months ago. Come on, man. Get your butt over into the studio so I can give you this thing. Coach Turner, I think the floor is yours, sir.
Before getting into the quote, but just happy to chop it up. It was fun. This is a fun episode tonight. Definitely missing our girl, Miss Krissy. Our prayers and thoughts are with her every day. And can't wait to get her back here on the show with us.
For real.
But, it's funny that I got this quote. I found this quote, and it was I thought Casey was going to kind of steal my thunder a little bit. I had this quote because he kind of talked about it. And this is that time of year. You know me. You guys know me. I'm all about family. And Thanksgiving and Christmas certainly is two of the holidays that I think brings families together more than any. And so also my love of music. kind of makes this quote very fitting. And the quote is, family is like music. Some high notes, some low notes, but always a beautiful song. I don't know about you guys, but I hope that everyone out there, just be thankful for yours. All families come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Conflicts, ups and downs, but there's no greater group in the world to be more thankful for than your own family.
All right.
Kurtis.
Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our advertisers, our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage, our partners, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, Insurance Alliance Group LLC, Marquise Evans of Keller Williams Capital Properties, our sponsors, O'Neill Development LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media and Gene the Barber, now Max Life Barber and Salon. Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy. All material is the exclusive property of the podcast and may not be copied, rebroadcast, or used in any way without the written consent of the podcast. The views, ideas, and commentary of podcast guests are solely their own and not necessarily endorsed by the podcast. You may submit questions, podcast ideas, and commentary to turneroneillpodcast@gmail.com. No compensation is offered for submitted material. Should we choose to use your idea, comment, or question, you agree to your likeness, social media identity, and/or information being used on the podcast. Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is recorded weekly and distributed via Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and more than 15 podcast platforms in total. You can also view Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill weekly on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest episode drops. Some portions of the podcast may be pre-recorded. Join us socially on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube. Search Turner and O'Neill and subscribe. Our website is www.turnerando'neill.com. Advertising opportunities are available.